All right, we're going to go ahead and pick up on our hip musculature from the last video. We're going to start today with the muscles of the hip that are on the anterior side, okay? The anterior muscles that we're going to talk about in class is made up of a group called the iliopsoas muscles, okay? And that consists of the iliacus muscle and the psoas muscle group, okay? A lot of times they just kind of get lumped in together because they do the same thing. So right here you can see this is our iliacus muscle right here where it's connecting the ilium, okay, ilium, iliacus, kind of looks the same, to our femur, okay, and then you have the psoas minor and the psoas major, okay. Major is going to be the larger of the two, okay, and they're connecting different parts of our pelvis to the femur, or connecting the spine to our pubis area, but they're all going to do the same thing. They're all going to flex the thigh on the trunk, okay, and I've shown a picture of that. So this lady is kind of doing a crunch, and when she brings her legs from flat in full extension and she brings them up towards her body, that is flexing the trunk on the thighs. Next group of muscles that we're going to talk about on the posterior side, okay. Some of these muscles that I have listed here are kind of posterior, lateral, but for sake of our class, I've just kind of lumped them all together, okay? But as you can see, there's quite a few. So we'll talk about the first two, and then I'll show you a couple pictures, then we'll come back and we'll talk about the internal and external. The first one is hip abductors, okay? These are going to lie a little bit more on the lateral posterior side, instead of smack dab as posterior as you can get. The first one is tensor fasciae latae. It's a very large muscle that runs pretty much the length of your leg all the way down to your knee from your hip. And then we have the gluteus medius, okay? So I have a picture, not that picture, I have this picture that talks about hip abduction, okay? So this lady has lifted her leg up, all right, that is abduction. And the other muscles that do hip extension we're going to talk about is our gluteus maximus, okay? I know most of you have heard of that word before. Talking about our butt, okay? This is showing hip extension right here. The guy has lifted his leg like he's getting ready to kick a ball. Okay, that motion is gluteus maximus of hip, and that's caused, the gluteus maximus causes hip extension. So the next two is internal and external rotators. Sometimes you hear this referred to as outward or inward rotation or medial lateral rotation, okay, so we just kind of have to keep them straight. So internal rotators, okay, is the gluteus minimus. So now you've seen that we have three glutes right here, okay? The gluteus minimus, the gluteus maximus, and the gluteus medius, okay? But if you can see, they all do three different things. So it's kind of one of those situations where when we had our quads and we had three vastus muscles and they all did the same thing, this is the opposite. They all have similar names, but they do different movements because of where they attach on our pelvis. That's kind of one of the only areas that we see stuff like that because of the way our body is set up. Our external rotators, there's a group of 6 muscles, okay? We have the piriformis. I really want you to remember that one. The other ones, not so much. Just remember that there are 6 external rotators, okay? Here's just a quick picture of those showing the gluteus minimus, okay? Right here on the lateral side. Then we have external rotators, and you can see they're on both sides, but it's just showing you mostly on one. But it's over here posteriorly connecting from the femur to the different parts of the pelvis, okay? This is what your internal rotation and your external rotation looks like, okay? A big key is to look which way that the knee is facing, okay? So in this picture right here, the kneecaps are facing inward. All right, kind of like if the person was standing pigeon-toed, that would be medial or internal rotation. Okay, same thing up here with this picture. The knee, the examiner has the patient's knee towards the midline. That is medial internal rotation. Okay. On the opposite side of things, the kneecaps over here are facing out. That is lateral external rotation or outward rotation. Same thing here. The knee is pointing more towards the lateral side than the midline. That would be lateral external rotation. Okay. I know that was a lot of muscles to deal with. I have put together a little chart that talks about the different muscles. You are going to need to remember a few of these. I would absolutely make your note cards for these muscles, okay? Figure out what each muscle does. It's very important because in our hip and pelvis we do have a lot of different injuries associated with these muscles. So our next slide that we're going to pick up on our next video is going to be starting our injuries, okay? Just a quick reminder, remember the hip area, it takes a lot of force to hurt, okay? Those muscles are stronger, those bones are definitely stronger, so we're going to be dealing with some more serious injuries here, okay? See you next time.